What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
We're doing great.
All right. Good.
Yeah, we're doing good.
One by one, the microphone go around. Okay, pass the microphone. Play like that, lah. Right. Okay, so the first question was, how's the event? How do you find the event?
Okay. I would say today would be one of the best events we had. If you're talking about crowd-wise, this is one of the best events we had compared to the last two events. Yes, last two events were the first time where we actually had a full crowd of audience for the first two floors. Second last event, which was not too much, but we had a crowd. This crowd was like massive. This event was like massive. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very noticeable from the start. Early on itself,
Yeah.
boxing. Normally our events in the morning, not many people come. The crowd always builds up. But this time, we noticed that from start to finish, the crowd was there. So yeah.
When we talk about the crowd, right? Y'all did 4 or 5 events already by now. What do you feel like drives the crowd to come?
Yeah, go ahead.
Like crazy ass fights, man. Actually, one main factor would be the people who bring the crowds are like their teammates. Like big teams, right? So that's like the catalyst. When they see a big team and like a big team is cheering, then the people like around the mall, they hear like this noise, right? That's what attracts more people to come. Like actually this event, surprisingly not many big teams showed up like with the full like team or full members and all that. It was mostly like random spectators actually. Like the second floor was full, but it was like just you see families with kids and like grocery bags and security guards. It was full. So big teams are like the catalyst of it, but this event but in particular is like a lot of like just bystanders. This is more bystanders and more people who are not really into this sport. They're just here for the sake of it.
You think the TikTok had anything to do with the influence?
Possibly.
Yeah, most definitely. One thing we changed a lot is in social media like TikTok, Instagram. we post more stuff content-wise, and we always see the numbers it gets. Like we don't necessarily have the followers, but then we see it getting like 11k views and stuff like that.
Like we do get the inquiries.
Yeah, people randomly just comment or boleh join ke and stuff like that. People are asking our old events now, looking at our old stuff. It's like, can we still join? And then we're just like, damn, just join a new one. But definitely influenced a lot.
So do you think that's why you guys have quite a lot of independent fighters, lah? Right?
I think because when we post it on our reels as well as our TikTok, the reaches more of independent audiences rather than the gyms with the fighters with actual gyms. So that has more reach compared to people who actually got gyms. So when they sign up, and that is why we actually get a lot of independent fighters. Yeah. So as you can see from our fights for the last few events, more than half of it, or probably half of the matches, are all filled up with independent fighters. Yeah. Both the left side and the right side.
Yeah. It's quite a lot. Yeah, go ahead.
In a way, it's also like good, like a double-edged sword also, because it's good to like in terms of exposure. You get more people into the sport and all that, but also in terms of professionalism, it affects us as well sometimes, because a lot of independent fighters they still don't know like the flow of things, as compared to being in a part of a team. So yeah, it's great in terms of exposure and growing the sport, but also in terms of professionalism, it could affect us sometimes. You get like late pullouts or unprofessional behaviors. We're always here to help. When you ask for inquiries, but sometimes people just gotta have some common sense to.
Now, the thing that I wanna not add to that, but like, okay, you say that there are problems, right, when it comes to having a lot of independent fighters. We can kind of help rectify that with the power of social media here, right?
Yes.
So if you had an advice for all these people, because we're going to post this part on TikTok, especially this part, right? What would you want to advise them or say to them, if they want to get involved, what are the few things they should know?
Okay, I would honestly recommend for independent fighter, if they've never fought before or are planning to fight, I would recommend them to, number one, start to sign up in a gym, either a membership or whatsoever. Reason is because when you fight, you want someone to protect you, to corner you and all that. And it wouldn't be nice to see if you're an independent fighter who comes alone. If let's just say anything happens, who's there to escort you? in and out of the ring or out of the area as well. So that's not very nice to see. That's one thing. And secondly, being an independent, if you have, it's okay if you have self-training or maybe friends who help train you whatsoever. But at the end of the day, when you come for a fight, it's good that you don't come alone. You bring those friends alone, those friends as well to come for your event. Not only to corner you, but to also support you, because those people are actually your supporting system from when you had no experience in any sort of combat sport to having some sort of experience to actually come by here and compete. So that is what I would actually recommend. Yeah.
Now you mentioned about people signing up to a gym, right? It's hard to find a gym, especially in our sport. In our sport, there is a number of gyms that has pretty decent social media presence, but how can they actually help? We start off with, where do you train?
So I train in Marcos Escobar Jiu-Jitsu in Kota Damansara. So in our gyms, we train mostly in wrestling and Jiu-Jitsu, but as well we started adding a bit of MMA here and there, and boxing and Muay Thai and all that. So our priority is when we send someone to a fight, we make sure they are prepared. It's like you're going for war. So when you go for a war, you want to be prepared. You don't want to be killed in the middle of the battlefield. So that's the similar situation right here as well. So when you're going for a fight, you want to be prepared. Regardless if you're 50% prepared or 100% prepared, you still want to be prepared. You don't want to, anything happen to you. Regardless if anything happened to you, you're actually ready to go to the battlefield and to just get whatever that comes upon of you. So that's what a gym would actually do well for you. Yeah.
Anyone want to add more to that?
Go ahead. Actually, right, so so for those independent fighters, okay, that maybe you find it hard to find a gym, fine. Okay, you don't have to join a gym just to join our event. You can be an independent fighter, but have some level of professionalism. Do a little bit of study. What kind of event you're going to. This is not a concert, right? You can't just buy a ticket and then you don't want to go, you don't go. You have to give a little bit of notice, or you watch UFC or Bellator or whatever, you kind of get the gist of how things is going. You weigh in, you come in, you have to come on time. We can't stall the whole event for one person, things like that. And and regarding joining a gym, it definitely helps in terms of giving you a support system and all that, and preparation, of course. We've had fighters that we don't want to mention anyone, right? Who register without their consent of the gym. So things like that can happen as well. So obviously preparation is and safety is also the gym's responsibility, and you're going to represent a gym, right? So you want to do it in the most respectful way as well, right?
Yeah.
I just want to add a bit, because what Dan said is 100% true, because some independent fighters, people who actually have a gym, they sign up with the fight without the consent of their coaches and all that, which I would say it's wrong, yes, because at the end of the day, some gyms, they want to protect their own brand. Even as independent fighter, I think all they need is some sort of guidance, because not all of them, all independent fighters think that fighting is all about fighting, but there's actually more to it. There's more preparation. There's also the weight cut, and weight cut is very crucial when it comes to combat sports, all sorts of combat sports. So the problem with independent fighters is they actually don't know how a weight cut works. They don't know which weight they should actually join in to come by for a fight. So I'm not going to say names, but we had a few fighters. This round was the worst. We had a lot of fighters that actually missed weight. So we did
big margin.
I would say probably few of them a kilo over. Yeah. So even with the allowance, that's pretty a lot, and it's I wouldn't say a disadvantage, but it's unfair to your opponent, because your opponent actually made weight to come by here, and then some of them drive all the way from Sarawak, some come all the way from Penang or Pahang or Johor to actually make weight and come for an event, and then their opponent just shows up without making any effort and just weighs in and then shows up for the fight. So for me, I think that's why some sort of guidance from maybe their friends whatsoever would really help. Yeah, so that is crucial. Besides the fact of the weight cut, there's also, even numerous times we post about protection. Protection is very important. Every fighter needs a mouth guard and a groin guard. So that is a very important thing when you come and fight. So like I mentioned again, all fighters or independent fighters would think that, fighting is all about banging and swinging and banging, just punching here and there, but there's more to it. Yeah, so a little bit of guidance, a bit of research is all they need to do before they come by for the event, regardless of how much of training they have. All they need is that guidance, that knowledge, and then they're good to go.
Yeah, that guidance is
Yeah.
important, right?
The
Imagine
guidance
if,
is
imagine if you see an amateur fighter who come in, no protection, and then if there's no actual guidance, right, they lose the teeth.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
And
like,
you know what's worse?
crack a nutsack or
Exactly,
something.
and you know what's worse is not just not having protection. Like your fight gets cancelled. What happens if your opponent comes all the way and he has everything, but just because you don't have it, the fight just gets cancelled on that day itself. Imagine making all the weight, everything, and because of not having the proper equipment.
That story similar happened to my teammate of mine. We wanted to fight in Johor.
Uh-huh.
Drove all the way to Johor, and then he was ready, everything, supposed to fight at night, some more late night, last minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, that's something happened with our event today. So we did have a few fighters where actually this one particular guy whereby he made weight today morning, 8 o'clock morning. I saw him, he signed the waiver form, everything he did. So he did notice his schedule, everything, he know what time is the fight whatsoever. So when the time of his fight, he actually didn't show up. Mind you, he actually weighed in on the same day, the same morning before the fight, but he actually didn't show up during the fight. That's the problem with independent fighters. They don't have the guidance. They don't know what. For them, it's all about fun and games, but that's not actually. That's not what we actually think. You get what I mean? Yeah. Doing an event takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of things, and the effort goes as far as contacting them, nurturing them, and telling them you need this sort of protection or whatsoever to come by for the event. Yeah.
You think it could have been cold feet, maybe like the pressure of like, oh, I'm about to fight, and then suddenly.
I mean, that's respectable, but also notice to us would be much helpful.
Of course,
Like if
yeah.
he just goes MIA and then us as planning the schedule and how things go is really not going to help.
But I guess that just adds up to the fact that fighting is not just banging, right? It's not just
Yeah,
banging,
exactly.
swinging, and slugging around.
So we've done our part on like giving them information. Even weeks before we've already started texting everyone to do what, and etc. and how it goes. So yeah, we just asked some help from people who actually want to fight. Because we welcome everybody, at the end of the day. Yeah, and we encourage under 18s because we did
Yeah.
post that.
Okay.
But yeah.
MSSD, Malaysia Fight League.
Who knows, bro?
Semua.
But actually, I think the under 18 gives them a leverage for fighters to join Sukma and so on, because Sukma is actually under 23.
Yeah.
So when we put on under 18 events like this, so perhaps one day, like today, we had national coaches, national boxers come by over. So when they scout these guys, who knows, they might actually get a chance to train under their wing or perhaps represent a state whatsoever. We had Triple T Boxing. Triple T Boxing is coached by Tina Thailand. Everybody knows Tina Thailand. Tina Thailand is a Sukma gold medalist for so many years, from the SEA Games and all that. And because they train under him, his students actually got a chance to fight in Sukma trials and so on. So that's why we also have this sort of under 18. So being Sukma, being under 23, it gives the underage, the ones below 23 or below 18, a chance for them to prove themselves here, to get scouted, and to eventually represent the state, the country whatsoever. Yeah.
That's the whole. That comes to how you guys work as a platform also, lah. The
Yeah.
opportunities come. Okay, now we're gonna move on from all that. Now we're gonna talk about just some minor stuff about the events. Say for example, today you guys had Super 4, right?
Yep.
Super 4 with a bit of cash prize, and you guys have done the last MFL. You did a cash prize as well, right?
For the Muay Thai,
That
was a few MFLs ago, but
Few
there was a
MFLs
cash
ago,
prize.
okay,
Yes, there was a
Second MFL.
second MFL, which was a
My
Super
question
4.
about cash prizes is that what are the difficulties about having more and more cash prize even at a larger scale? Because at the end of the day, a lot of fighters would like to try to fight for money,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's what
Definitely.
fighting is about. Whether you like it or not, you fight. A lot of these fighters, when you fight professionally, you're fighting for money, right?
Yep.
So, I want to know from your point of view, the kind of challenges you guys go through whenever you want to pitch an idea for cash prizes, or maybe even if you want to introduce purses or whatnot.
Okay, so I hope everyone is aware that we are also a self-funded and self-sufficient organization. So a lot of the things that we do come from our own pocket as well, and from what we make from these events. So we try to give back to the community as much by also, we set up, we try to get as many vendors as we can to promote the event, find sponsorships if there's any, and we give it free spectatorship. Right, so it's free for everyone. No matter how high the level of boxing, Muay Thai, or MMA is, it's still free for everyone to spectate. And we even have Facebook Live. So everything is self-funded. And when it comes to funding for these cash prizes and all, it's just based on what we can do at that situation and what we have for this event. Yeah, so. Does that answer your question?
I mean, it does answer my question. Then anyone can add to that. If nobody, then yeah.
Exactly what he said, but obviously in the future too, we're gonna have to think about something where we don't want to spend so much of our own money. Everything's self-funded, right? So we would want to try to make the event obviously bigger, better, and then we can do more stuff with cash, this Super 4. So we looked at our plan and we all discussed it. We were like, okay, it's doable, 300 ringgit. We'll put on a great show. The fights were amazing, really, really good professional fights. Hopefully we get them back for a rematch because I think that would be good. But yeah,
it was a nutty fight. The first one, the Jagendra fight versus
King Shah.
David, right?
Jagan fought Navid.
That was the first.
That was a nutty fight. Nutty fight.
And the best part of the Super 4? So Jagan is actually the youngest in the whole Super 4. He's 19. Yeah, so he has experience, yes. He trains under Tina Thailand. And I would say, I'm not sure how many years of experience he had, but I think to me, he put on a really good show.
He fought since he was 17, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, Jagan was a student of mine. Yeah,
okay.
I think a bit short story about him. If I'm not wrong, from my memory, I think he fought. Also, he was Penang representative for boxing.
I know he fought kickboxing F3 years ago.
That was F3, but right. I think before all that, he was representative of a Penang state team for boxing when he was in school. Yeah. So Jagan.
Yeah.
So to add to all the cash prizes and all that, for what we see now, as a very early stage of developing the sport, and also as an organization, we're trying to give back as much as we can to the community with what we have. So we see all this as a platform and as a foundation to what we can do in the future. Yeah. So
with all that being said, right, do you find it as the biggest challenge to try to give back? I feel like we want to see more and more cash prizes, right? That's why I asked also, will there be a potential introduction of purses or to encourage people to get into a professional state in fighting, right? So would it be a challenge to look for that kind of money to help compensate if people want to treat it as their career per se?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I feel like that goes to say for every single sport, right? Not just MMA or Muay Thai or boxing. Every sport in Malaysia in general, I feel, is a challenge to, give purses back to people and make that as their life earnings. It's one of our goals, definitely. But like I said, we are self-sufficient and self-funded. Most of the things we do it all comes from our internal organization and what we make from each event. Okay. And that being said, we still give back a lot. We have a free live, like I said. We have our registration fee is only 80 ringgit. They can bring their whole family here. A trophy alone is already how much. Medals and certificates.
Very generous, Actually, it's very generous.
We still give discounts for free physio for every competitors. They can have a 50% off for their next visit. Thank you so much to Precise Rehab for that. Winners sometimes we used to give free t-shirts. We had a few sponsorships from the previous events also. We gave away the winners free bottles from Over. We try to give back as much as we can with all the sponsors we get. We don't really. This event we had Boom as well sponsoring us a
What's your
little
favorite
bit.
flavor?
I don't know, I just took the yellow one.
I'd say mine is peach .
before.
Yeah, I would say mine is the yellow one.
I like all of the drinks. Best in the market so far. I love it. I'll definitely get it again. Yeah, 100%.
Who got the contact for Boom for this show?
So basically, they contacted us. They wanted to sponsor for our MFL event as well as the MGL.
I'm assuming it's a local brand, huh?
Yes, I assume it's a local brand. So when they contacted us, I said, why not? So initially, the idea was to, I told them, why not you just open a booth here? And then they said, you know what? We're willing to sponsor your event, blah, blah, and all that. So I said, yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah, just a real quick one. Favorite fight tonight?
Nawid against Halim, Super 4 final boxing.
That was mine too. He stole it. Yeah, definitely mine too.
My favorite fight of the day is Jake and Jai White Dragon. Jai?
It's White Dragon. It's White Dragon.
White Dragon and Jake from Kambis.
Okay.
Those. That was
Big guy, right?
I was expecting a lot more from that lah, but it was fireworks the moment he stepped in and the way he entertained the crowd. He's a good. Yeah.
Okay. Alright, last question lah. Last question for Malaysian Fight League. I think we talked a lot already today. Last question. It's Malaysian Fight League, right? Now you guys have Malaysian Grappling League also, right? So, when are you guys have already officially started the league for Malaysian Fight League for people who fight boxing and kickboxing and all? Do they have like points tallying up and?
Yes, we do.
If not, also perhaps you could tease us like when you wanna officially start.
The talks between us was like, yes, we're gonna do a point system because end of the day, we want new people to come, but we also want the old fighters to come back. Like we saw a lot of old fighters like King Shah fought last event, Daniel Yazan last event. So imagine if you like match those kind of people up from like last event who did well and maybe new event that did well, and that's where all the points thing like you mentioned comes about. So we have our own like tally and everything on who's done what so far because we want people to come back. And then with them coming back a lot, and if they keep winning, that's where we can like, introduce titles and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, because Malaysian Grappling League, I remember I seeing you guys post on Instagram about all the prizes and all that whatnot. Even got team prizes.
Yep.
Which, that was really cool.
Yeah.
So was wondering if MFL will be doing something similar, or maybe something different or completely same. So that's
that would be the plan for us. Like, but that also takes time for us to do because like it's hard when like. Again, no hate to the independent people, but it's easier, I would say, if we could do the points thing with the gyms and like the people that keep coming back. But it will work too with independents.
Because you don't get any independent fighters for grappling, right?
We sometimes do actually.
Sometimes, huh?
Yeah, but obviously the goal is to not the goal. Sorry, moving forward, we will try to make it a bit more exclusive by limiting the amount of fights we have. So this is our new announcement. It's not really an announcement, actually. It's more so for like just saying lah. So register early,
Pay-per-view?
It could be.
Who knows? Depending on our live streams company, if they are willing to do it.
We'll see. Anyways.
But yeah, we will try to plan to limit our fighters, and depending on the registration, we will also try to select the fights that could generate us the best crowd and also an entertaining fight lah. We don't want to. We learned from our previous events also and some of the fights that happened previously that some fighters. Again, no hate to independent fighters. It can make the whole crowd like kind of dead or like a bit slow. It would slow the crowd down a bit. So we would try. We wanna make sure that every fight is as entertaining as possible for everyone.
So you all have to train first.
You have to train first, and also we'll be limiting the registrations to a certain amount of fights. We will announce that also lah, officially. But as for now, it's just a
unofficial statement.
Unofficial statement.
Okay lah. I think that's enough for today lah. I think we talked a lot already. There's a lot of content for us to say. You guys have any last final comments you wanna put out?
As always, thank you guys for supporting. Next month, Malaysian Grappling League. The month after that, MFL. MGL again, MFL again. We keep going. Yep. Follow all our Instagram. Shout out to Boom, our sponsors, Precise Rehab, O1. Shout out to Southpaw as well. Yeah.
And shout out to Star Avenue for this great venue. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Actually, to be honest, right, For MFL alone, we would like to see more female fighters come by and compete. Yeah, I think that'd be really nice. So when we have female fighters competing, then more female fighters will come. So that opens up to more female fighters wanting to train, wanting to fight, and so on. So that is something that I look forward to in the future. So hopefully that passes through someday.
Yeah, no, that's true. I could definitely vouch for that. We need to have more presence for female fighters to be involved,
Correct.
not just in MFL but in combat sports in general,
True.
right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is a platform you can do that.
Yeah. Like so far today we had 2 fights.
That's
So
good.
hopefully more to come.
And I don't know if it's sad or what that I'm saying this, but like 2 fights is actually a good number, you know.
Yeah.
It's quite hard to find
It
female
did.
fighters.
Yeah. I think 2 events ago we had 3 or 4 female fights.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully we can get 10 next time.
Ladies.
Yeah. Sign up, get the gym, and just come by and fight. Yeah. Just have fun.
Alright, that's about it. Alright, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much.
It's been Gautam, Adi, and Dan from Malaysian Fight League.
It's Aditya.
Ciao, guys. Peace.